Welcome class. Today we are going to talk about human development and various aspects in it. So the various things that we are going to talk about is meaning of development, how it progresses through different stages of life, what are the different factors that influences development, what is the context in which these factors influence the development, followed by the various developmental stages that are there, beginning from infancy to childhood to adolescence, then adult age, and followed by finally old age. So let's understand what is the meaning of development. Development is a pattern of progressive, orderly, and predictable changes that began at conception and continue throughout life. So when we talk about development, we say that it is orderly. It is very predictable changes that happen right from your conception to throughout your life. So overall, if you talk about humans, there is a certain pattern in which they grow, which involves a lot of growth, maturation, development of different body parts. So there's changes in terms of genetics. So there are changes which are dependent on genetics, like height, weight, development of the brain, the heart, the lung development. Then there are other changes like mental processes which keep on changing through knowledge, experience, and then there are changes in individuals when they interact with the social world outside. Now there are a lot of factors which are under interplay when we talk about development: biological, cognitive, and socio-emotional processes. So अलग अलग तरह के प्रोसेसेस की वजह से हमारी जो डेवलपमेंट है वो ग्रो करती है. एज कुछ फैक्टर्स होंगे जो बायोलॉजिकल हैं, जिनके लिए आप प्री डिस्पोज्ड हैं ऑलरेडी. कुछ कॉग्निटिव फैक्टर्स होंगे जो आप एक्सपीरियंस से या अपनी नॉलेज से या अपनी अंडरस्टैंडिंग से सीखेंगे. और कुछ ऐसे इमोशनल प्रोसेसेस होंगे जो आप अंडरगो करेंगे व्हेन यू आर गोइंग थ्रू अ स्टेज ऑफ डेवलपमेंट. बहुत डिफरेंट थियोरिस्ट हैं जिन्होंने डिफरेंट डेवलपमेंटल स्टेजेस दी हैं. लेट्स फर्स्ट अंडरस्टैंड द लाइफ स्पैन पर्सपेक्टिव ऑन डेवलपमेंट. सो एरिक्सन ने कहा है कि देयर इज इन एवरी चाइल्ड एट एवरी स्टेज अ न्यू मिरेकल ऑफ विगरस अनफोल्डिंग which constitutes a new hope and a new responsibility for all. This will become much more clearer when we talk about different stages, the psychosocial stages of development given by Erikson. So he says that at every stage there is a hope and a responsibility for each individual, whether it is childhood, adulthood, old age, infancy, adolescence. All ages have a certain hope and a responsibility. So if they do not stay fixated in that stage, what happens with a new hope? How do they overcome that responsibility and how do they grow from that? Now, what are the assumptions of lifespan perspective? The very first assumption is that development is lifelong. So development keeps on happening over and over again in your entire life. बहुत सारे अलग अलग processes हैं जो involved हैं, interwoven है in the process of development, like biological. Biological is all the genetic factors which keep on influencing our development. Then environmental factors are there, then there's cognitive processes, the way we think about things, or the way we perceive things, the way we believe in things. Then there are obviously societal influences that are very, very relevant. Development is multi-directional. It is not that only one thing will keep growing. So it's not that your size keeps on, your body size keeps on increasing. It's multi-directional. You will have changes in terms of your intellect, you will have changes in terms of your knowledge, experience, changes in the body pattern. So also at a certain age they mature and they do not change. So there's no development happening after a certain age also in a particular area. So different aspects are under development at different stages. It is very, very plastic. That means it can be modified easily. Development, like I said already, is influenced by historical conditions, यानी कि हमारे past experiences कैसे रहे हैं उनसे influence होती हैं. बहुत तरह के disciplines जो हैं development को study करते हैं. Sociology, psychology, anthropology, ये different disciplines हैं जो development को study करते हैं. Biology, So these are some of the disciplines, and psychology is not the only discipline that studies development. So many other disciplines focus on development. Individuals जो हैं वो respond करते हैं, act करते हैं based on their life situations, their experiences. So development is the result of also the experiences and situations that people come across. Now let's understand some very basic concepts when we talk about development: growth, development and maturation. When we talk about growth, it refers to increase in the size of the body parts. You can measure it, you can quantify it, like growth in height, weight, all of this you can measure. Growth is measurable. It is changes in the body parts that are happening when there's an organism involved. So when you talk about development, it is a process by which individual grows and changes throughout the life cycle. So it talks about everything other than growth also. It talks about changes in your mental processes, your cognitive processes, how interactions with different people bring about changes in development. Maturation is a process. It refers to changes that follow in an orderly way and are largely dictated by the genes, which produce a certain common standard of living, a certain common way in which all humans mature, or a certain growth that happens in all individuals at almost a similar way determined by their genetic blueprint. So development is much more than just growth and maturation. Now, how do we evolve as humans? So we know that we've evolved from a certain section of the mammals. So our ability to survive and reproduce is the way we've grown. So natural selection of our lifestyle to be able to survive as a species is something that has helped us.